Today, I want to ask you a question, and I would like you to answer it as honestly as you can after watching this video. Not for me, not for your friends, not for your parents, but for yourself. And that question is, are you self-sabotaging your own success? Self-sabotage is a defense mechanism against disappointment. It is basically your subconscious mind trying to protect you from what it associates with pain, whether it be failure, a breakup, and even success. Because at the end of the day, success means change, and change is threatening. So are you standing in your own way? As a matter of fact, are you even aware that you're standing in your own way? In the words of Carl Jung, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. But if you're watching this video, don't worry, ain't no way we're gonna let that happen, okay? So let us begin by step number 1, which is one of the most difficult things to do when it comes to self-sabotaging behavior, thoughts, and even emotions, and that is recognizing and identifying instances of you doing it. Simply because, like I said before, it involves looking deep into your subconscious mind, communicating, and even changing your subconscious thoughts. To facilitate this big task for you, I put together 3 things that you can look for to help you identify such destructive or negative behavior, actions, thought patterns, etc. The first one is just that. Look for patterns. To give you a perfect example of this, the number 1 type of self-sabotaging behavior is, drumroll, procrastination, which, let's face it, we've all done at least once in our lives. However, there is a difference between someone that procrastinates, once in a while versus someone that is chronically postponing things, putting things until the last minute. Another thing you can look for is emotional dodgeball. So you either try to dodge or move your way around negative feelings or thoughts, most specifically negative emotions, I have to say, or you try to suppress them. However, keep in mind that these negative vibes and this negative energy has to go somewhere. And surprise, surprise, it goes in your subconscious mind, in the back of your mind. But what you can observe and what you actually see is the visible, how it manifests in your day-to-day life. Usually it takes form in self-destructive behavior, whether it be procrastination or drinking or eating poorly or just going out partying with friends, wasting all your time when you know you have to be home and study. And the last thing you can look for is inertia. Sorry, I have an accent, I know. Stagnant change or whatever you call it. Basically, have you ever found yourself just giving reasons, justifying why, I can't be a grade A student now in this university because, I need a clean slate. When I'm gonna go to college or when I'm gonna go to high school or when I'm gonna get my dream job, then I'll be great and grand and, then it's gonna work out for me. And I just need a fresh, clean start to just rip that band-aid out, everything, and start from scratch. This type of mindset makes you just postpone your happiness instead of focusing in the present moment and taking the necessary steps and, yes, the necessary sacrifices that you need to make now in order to actually have that successful future that you want. So those are 3 things that you can look out for. However, I am well aware that this can be, again, difficult. So if you need a third party to tell you legit, yo, you're doing it, I found a quiz by the Ford Institute. Mind you, the results aren't really formulated as best as I would like them to be, but the questions that are asked in this mini quiz are really, I would say, deep and awakening. So if you are still struggling to see if you are self-sabotaging your own success and you want kind of like someone else telling you, hey, burst your bubble because this is where you are, I'll link it in the description box as usual. And you know, if that's the push you need, takes 5 minutes. The next step is to identify why you are doing it, because I can't just give you a generic solution because we're all unique, we're all different. The reason why you self-sabotage yourself might be completely different from why I do it. There are a number of reasons why people use this defense mechanism, but I narrowed it down to 4 because I think that a lot of people can relate to these, and in my opinion, they're kind of the most common, or the ones I most commonly see and have personally gone through. So, you know, sharing is caring. The first one is called cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is a psychological theory that states that we crave consistency between our thoughts, how we see ourselves in the world, and our behavior, what we put out in the world. So, for example, if you think you are a horrible student and you just can't get good grades, and whoop, one day you get an A. Uh-oh, my behavior is not consistent with how I see myself. So subconsciously, you're gonna think it's a fluke. It can't possibly be me because I'm not like that. I'm not an A student. Slowly, you're gonna keep putting yourself down and then procrastinate, push things to the last minute, study less, and whoop, the next exam, you're failing again. I know it looks bad, but a lot of people find it much easier to change their behavior versus change their core values and how they see themselves. The second reason is control. If you find that your life is out of control, or if you are dead afraid of failure, it is much more easier to control your failure versus to allow it to just slap you in the face at night when you're eating dinner. Am I right? If this is your reason, just remember, you can control your failure, but you can also control your success and all the good that is in your life. Number 3, familiarity and fear. We are creatures of habit, and more specifically of security. We are afraid of the unknown, and even good things in our lives can be frightening because they're different. So let's say you're in a group of friends and you all get D's and C's, and at one point you're just sick of it and you try to be a topper. So your grades get better, you study more, you spend more time at the library, you spend less time with your friends, and your grades are better than theirs now. So you might lose your friends, they might mock you, they might shame you or guilt trip you into spending so much time studying versus their friendship. And that is scary because it's change. It involves new people, it involves new expectations, it involves just new. And we're scared of the new. And finally, number 4, unworthy. This is common in self-sabotaging behavior of couples. So when you think you're unworthy of love, when you think you're unworthy of success, of good things, of a good job, a good career, you will act according to how you value yourself. And little secret, it is found that people that are workaholics, that try to be as busy as possible and have as many accomplishments as possible, that feel the most inadequate and unworthy because they're always trying to prove their worth, to prove themselves to the world and to them. The final section of this video involves a few tips on how to stop self-sabotaging behavior, thoughts, and emotions. I have to say, if you made it this far, congratulations, because the hardest part is done. The hardest part involves recognizing you doing it, knowing why you do it, and pinpointing the specific behaviors and patterns and thoughts and emotions that actually stand in your way. Because when you know them, you take them from your subconscious and you make them conscious. And now you can act on them. It takes changing the way you see failure. It takes changing the way you see change. And finally, I have to say, it takes 1,000,000,000% getting in touch with and communicating with your subconscious mind. If you want me to do a full, not only video, but maybe series on discussing how you can get in touch with your unconscious, with your subconscious, let's bring this video to 2K thumbs up. I mean it, because this would take a lot of research on my part because it is an extremely complex topic, but I am fascinated about it. But I want to make sure before I put in all this work that you are too. So give this video a thumbs up if you want to see that video, or just if you genuinely liked me doing topics like this, more personal coaching, psychology, philosophy, and I will make sure to have more of those on my channel. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to me if you like what you see, and I will definitely see you in my next video. Accept yourself. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And watch that movie because it's good and a classic. Bye guys!